Hey everyone, Ruben here, KinderDog PDX, and this is the question of the day, number 7. So let's get started. Our dog is smart and loving. We've never had a dog and have been very poor at training. He doesn't have good walking manners, goes crazy with the whining bark when he sees other dogs, jumps on everyone, and the thing that concerns me most, he'll take off running if he sees people or animals and has almost been hit by a car twice. He is starting to counter surf, and jumps on anything. Desk, bathroom counter, etc. to get attention. We love him and want to do better by him. Okay, this is a great little question. Well, I guess there's a lot of stuff going on in here, so cut yourself some slack, you know. Yeah, okay. We've done poor training, that's okay. Sounds like now we're trying to do some training, okay? So, good walking manners. First thing, we want to get your dog on a Herm Sprenger prong collar and start to just introduce them to leash manners, leash pressure work, okay? We've got videos on our YouTube channel that goes into that topic, but you want to get the dog paying attention to how to follow the leash. And the concept really goes, is really like, if I apply leash pressure in this direction, I want the dog's head to turn in this direction. And you can start out doing things super slow, just doing it inside your house, keeping the distractions very nice and low. This way you can focus more on the task at hand and not all the distractions that are going on outside. And your dog can have an easier time to concentrate as well, because his focus is going to be more on you and not everything else that's going on outside. And you know, you'll want to look at your fit of the prong collar. You want to make sure it's up high on the neck, behind the ears. And again, we've got a bunch of videos on YouTube that talk about that stuff. But that's going to be a big one in getting the leash walking in order. The going crazy with a whining bark when he sees other dogs, right? So I'm going to assume that because your dog doesn't have good walking manners right now, it probably looks like he's pulling on the leash. You know, I don't know to the extent of what that is, but pulling on the leash can definitely add to that reaction that you're getting of whining and barking every time he sees another dog. You know, other things that might be contributing to it, like if he goes to a dog park or something like that, you know, we're setting the example that every time you see a dog, you play with them. That's like, that could be his only interaction. And so when he's pulling on the leash, he can't go say hi to those dogs. There's tension on the leash. He's starting to get frustrated. So the looser the leash we can have, the better. And this is also going to be teaching him that there's a time and place. So if he does go to the dog park and he is playing with dogs all the time, that's okay. I mean, I wouldn't recommend taking your dog to a dog park, but if you are, I can't stop you. But we need to understand that if that's his only interaction with dogs, that's what's gonna, you know, he's gonna be like, oh, I see a dog, I want to go play with them. Oh, but I can't go play. I'm tethered behind this with this leash. I'm getting frustrated now. And then we start to see that build up. So you're going to want, again, get that nice walk in order. And then you're going to want to issue a correction for looking over at those dogs, right? If you're walking down the street, they're on the left-hand side of the street or the right, what have you. And, you know, you're on the opposite side of wherever they're at. And your dog looks over that way. You want to say, nope, and get your eyes up front, okay? Pay attention to the task that's at hand. And when you can interrupt that focus, we should start to see the barking, whining start to dissipate. But you gotta get the fuse before the explosion. And the fuse is going to be, you know, maybe first he's like panting and then his mouth closes. Maybe he looks over and his forehead wrinkles and his ears are perked forward. You know, those are all those little signs that you want to say, hey, look over here, okay? Pressure, leash, over here, look at me, okay? Eyes up front, right? jumps on everyone, another correction, but also teaching the dog other things to do, right? So for us, you know, one of the big ones is teaching a dog place. So when we have guests come over, we can place our dogs. When they calm down, we can think about letting them off to smell them, like to meet people, but that should even be done in a structured way on a leash. So if they do jump, you can issue correction. However, with the place command, and you actually wait for the dog to relax, you might be setting the tone for when the dog does get up to meet them, that they're already just in a calmer state of mind. We have to remember that jumping is a symptom of an overexcited dog. And if they're overexcited and then the person comes in, they're getting way more overexcited. And then there's the explosion, which is the jumping up on people. So get your dog to relax on place, and then think about introducing them to the people. And you should also be coaching the people too, to like be relaxed, not like encouraging the dog to get amped up, which then leads to jumping. We need to create habits first. And then, you know, once your dog is really good with these things, then you don't need to have your friends be like, okay, we need you to be calm and stuff like that. They can more or less be themselves, but at the same time, like we have to advocate for the dog. So even if your dog does really well, I still wouldn't encourage my friends to come into the house and be like, hey, look at the dog, and try to get them amped up. Okay, that's not helping. Okay. The things that concerns you most is that he would take off running if he sees people or animals. A good recall, you know, so remote collar training would be your next best thing to do with all of these, because with remote collar training, you can address the jumping, you can address the running off. Takes a good strong recall, but again, all that stuff starts inside the house. We've got videos demonstrating how this is done. There's videos from The Good Dog on their YouTube page, Solid Canine Training on their YouTube page, Dream Come True Canine on their YouTube page. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there that talks about how to teach your dog remote collar recall, and through all this other stuff though too, right? Teaching place, teaching them how to go into the crate, minding thresholds, you know, all those things create boundaries. And if your dog understands that, oh, I don't go through the front door unless we're both going out, you know, unless you say, let's go, or here, you can start to create an inhibition that they don't go through the front door. Okay, it's all about all this other training. It's never about the bolting out the door. It's what else is your dog not doing inside the house. Okay, so we want to shore up that stuff inside before we start tackling those things like the front door. Okay, counter surfing, again, remote collar correction. You might have to set them up for something like that though, because dogs can be pretty savvy and not do it when they are in our presence. They might do it when we leave the room and whatnot. But then again, that's where place comes in, because if your dog knows how to hold a place, they can't be counter surfing. So you can put them on place, you can leave the room, and then they are still there. No more counter surfing, okay? And that goes with anything, the desk, the bathroom. It's like if you're going into your office to work, place, I'm gonna go sit down on my computer, okay? And then I'm gonna take you outside and we're gonna go play, or we're gonna take you outside to go to the bathroom. A lot of these things dive into teaching time or the place, okay? So that's question 7. Again, if you have any questions, hit us up in the comments. And we will be starting to post these up on YouTube and Instagram, so that, or I mean IGTV, so that you can have reference to these on other platforms, and you know, just have them to look back on from time to time. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.